What up, everybody? It's going basketball. I should stop singing.
Whoa.
That just might make you guys click the fuck off of this shit real quick. Anyway, yes. George, I got to give you mad props. Your boys, the Heat, are fucking on a run. Those Bama's
dude, they're not fucking around. They got things to do. I just hope they don't shoot their wad.
They got things to do, places to go, people to see, huh?
Yeah, they got a ring to win. And I said, I hope they don't blow their load. I hope they don't get this shit all out of the system and don't peak at the right time.
Well, I mean, seeing that they've rattled, 18, 19 straight wins, and by the time you guys watch it, it could be up near 20. Who knows? The thing is this. When you see a team, when you think of teams in the past that have had this type of streak during the season, I think there's been 8 teams in NBA history that had over 18 wins straight wins during the course of the season. I think 5 of them have gone on to win NBA championships. And you got to really look at the odds. I mean, the numbers. It's like, okay, who's going to beat this team 4 times in 7 games?
No one, because to me, their biggest competition was going to be the Pacers.
Right.
And I think along this 19-game streak, they absolutely dusted the Pacers off like 105-94.
Yeah.
Or 115-94. They just blew them out of the water.
Yeah. The thing is this too, man. It's like last year they won a championship, but still, they were still learning to play as a team. Now they've got every component. They're obviously LeBron is having a standout season, which LeBron always has a fucking standout season, but they're doing everything.
Yeah, to be honest, besides LeBron James, who would you give the MVP to?
Who would I give it to?
Yeah.
It would be Durant. But I wouldn't give it to Durant. I mean, I would definitely give it to LeBron,
And my only knock on Kevin Durant is until he starts doing the other things. Like if you look at LeBron James's stat line, he's constantly in double digits,
right?
Constantly at least 5 rebounds and 5 assists a game.
Yeah,
I mean he just does so many other things, and I don't think he gets enough credit for his passing because I think he's probably the best passing small forward in the NBA period.
Yeah, it's funny though. It's fun. You look at these numbers and stuff like this, and obviously to me the NBA has a lot more talent than it had in the late '80s and '90s or whatever you want to call it. But it's funny because look at fucking Larry Bird, man. That motherfucker. I mean, but when you look at Larry Bird, he was putting up those numbers for a while. Him and Magic. You know what I mean? That's one thing that you saw that a lot more back then. And obviously, you saw it just fall off for a few years, and now LeBron's back, and he's bringing that type of forward back into the game, and his numbers are just crazy. I tell you another person, and obviously everybody will roll their eyes when I say that, who's having a really good season is fucking Kobe. I mean,
yeah,
Kobe. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and look at Superman with a change of attitude.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers have slowly worked their way back into contention. I mean, they're now in the playoff spot, the final playoff spot over in the West, sitting at number 8. But they potentially could move up to the 6th seed by the end of the season.
Well, the thing is I think Dwight Howard thought he was still in the East, where Dwight Howard could go in, because they said he cut all sugar out of his diet to get in better cardio to run the pick and roll.
Right.
Because the pick and roll is a lot different than go down the block, post up, we'll dump the ball down to you.
Exactly.
Because he's got to be at the top of the key. He's got to set the picks. He's got to roll.
Right.
He's got to move on defense, because the West, I mean, I still think the Heat are going to win the NBA Finals just because their road's going to be easier. And if LeBron comes with that mentality he did last year, I don't give a shit.
Right.
But those West teams have to beat up on each other.
They do have to
just to get to the finals.
And it's a funny thing, man. It's matchups, man, because I think the Heat, like for example, the Lakers, and you could touch on the other teams. The Knicks, everybody thought they'd be in it. Knicks are struggling lately, and Carmelo being not 100% does not help them.
Armari's out again. I think dude, I'm going to tell you what, if this was the NFL, Armari would have been cut.
Oh.
That Bama is hurt every other week.
Oh,
and he carries a large cap number.
Oh yeah, he does. I mean, it's like you got to fucking let him go. But
he doesn't stay on the court. Dude,
no.
If you're not on the court, we're not making money, I can't pay you by.
Right. Now,
but that money's guaranteed. It's fucking dumb.
It's funny how it all plays out, because I think when you look at the Heat, what teams do you look at giving? Like when I'm being a Lakers fan, I know the Lakers cannot beat the Thunder. I think the Lakers would play the Heat better than the Thunder. It's the Thunder just start running. They're all young, and they've got some depth that is young. And all of a sudden the Lakers just look like a fucking high school team when they play them. They just do not match up good against the Thunder. Go ahead.
I don't think the Thunder are as good as they were last year with Harden. Without Harden, they're not the same team. I think they're beatable. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers get matched up with the Thunder if they don't at least push it to a Game 7.
They could, but I mean, so far this year they've looked terrible against the Thunder. You know, and
have they played since Dwight Howard just had a change of attitude?
Well, Dwight Howard's change of attitude is literally, we're only 3 games into that shit, dude.
Hey, I mean, and you know what? It's a big-ass difference because the dude is moving more. His car, I mean, if he continues to play like that, this is the reason. They probably saw this and hoped he would get to this, and that's the reason he didn't get shipped out at the trading deadline.
Right. You know, and maybe that's another thing that he says, hey, this is a franchise that wants me, you know? And that's a big thing with Dwight. I mean, he feels like, you know, he has to be kind of, he needs his ego stroked. He needs to be babied sometime. And he's like, okay, the Lakers aren't turning my back on me. On me. They're not shipping me out. So that might have done a lot of good. Now, you think when Pau Gasol comes back in.
Who's Pau Gasol?
Yeah, I'm making up names for that band because I haven't seen him in so long.
Is that Mark and Paul's brother?
Yeah, it is. Stop doing
it.
Now, let me ask you this. What do you think about the Spurs, the Grizzlies, and the fucking Clippers?
They're all gonna not make it to the finals.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
I think the Grizzlies got the best shot. I think San Antonio's gonna roll in like they did last year and have a gaudy record and look all good, and then they're just gonna get beat by a younger athletic team.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know,
I don't think the Spurs can change on the fly like some of these other teams. I think the Spurs are kind of set in stone. We run this offense. This is what we do. It's kind of like we were talking about, like Nick Diaz. You know where Nick Diaz is going to be. You know what the Spurs are going to do.
Exactly.
They can't physically do it. They can't change it up and run up and down the court.
They're a great season team, but they're just not they're not built for the playoffs. Whereas
when you get the game plan for the Spurs, it's easy. They're going to set up in a half court and they're not going to run.
Right. You know,
and that's why they got worked last year by OKC.
Yeah. Whereas you got a good valid point. The Lakers could be a very dangerous team in the playoffs if things start to gel right. If Gasol comes back and he works it doesn't throw off their rhythm and stuff, they can all of a sudden be dangerous because not only do you have so many stud players, but you have so much experience in the playoffs. You know,
and length and Gasol helps with the length.
Why are you fucking with me, man?
I'm just saying he does.
What, Gasol?
Yeah. He Gasols it all.
Man, we're getting the fuck out of Dodge. Anyway, tell us your thoughts below on the comment board. Who do you guys see as front runners in the playoffs? Because it's going to be kicking off in probably about 25 more games or so. We're out. Comical, brash, and yeah, sometimes politically incorrect. The Uncut Sports Show. Non-traditional sports coverage delivered the way you like it by your uncensored co-hosts, Kevin White and George Bedford.